everyone, Alyssa here for AOP Tech on YouTube, and today I'm going to show you an overview of Google Keep. Now, I am a new Google Keep user, so this is what I am looking at if I'm just getting started utilizing Google Keep. And if you don't know what Google Keep is basically a sticky note system that you can access, cloud-based, that you can access from anywhere. So I have Google Keep on my phone, and I can access it on the web. So I'm going to jump over to Google Keep, and we'll take a look. So as you can see, I don't have a lot in Google Keep yet. My colleagues, Aaron and Bill, love their Google Keep, and I am really working for this school year to utilize it more. So to get to Google Keep, I can go to keep.google.com when I'm logged into my account, or I can also use the quilt in the top right-hand corner when I'm signed in and select Keep from that menu there. So two easy ways that I'm able to get there. So you can see these are little sticky notes. I can take a brand new note. I have a couple of settings down the side here. So let's take a look. So if I wanted to write a note, I'm going to call this note to-do list. That's my favorite thing, is to keep to-do lists. And I'm very much a to-do list on paper because I take great satisfaction in checking off a to-do list. But that's not always practical when I don't either have a piece of paper with me or I don't have the place where I've taken that note. Google Keep can definitely solve that problem for me. So I'm going to do some webinar planning today. What I'm actually going to do under this More button is I'm going to show checkboxes. So that way I can make a list of items. I'm going to say webinar planning, and I'm going to say answer emails, and I'm going to say, don't forget that I need to stop at the grocery store. Not particularly work-related, but something I want to remember nonetheless. You can notice that I have the 6 little dots here, which means I can move and reorder this checklist. I can add my list items, and there's a couple of features on a note that I want to point out to you. One in the top right corner of this note is Pin Me. What that pin does is that it keeps that note at the top, so something like a to-do list that you always want to appear at the top of your list. I'm going to unpin it right now. Down here along the bottom of the note, the little finger with a reminder tied on it, that's a reminder. You can have Google Keeps remind you of something, which is great. You can pick the date and time or pick a place. And I think this is such a great feature because how often do we find something that we're interested in reading and then it kind of gets pushed to the bottom of the pile? I'm thinking about setting myself reminders so I know that, hey, I wanted to take a look at this article. I can add a collaborator on my note. So if I wanted to add Aaron for something we were collaborating on, I could absolutely do that. Or if I were using Google Keep personally and I had something like a grocery shopping list on here, I could add my husband as a collaborator on it so we could both put things that we were needing for the grocery shopping trip this week. I know a lot of folks who use Google Keep personally that way. I can change the color of my notes so that way I might have my own kind of thought process of personal notes are one color, or I have this note down here with a link and I've decided to make that one this coral color. I can add an image from my computer on to my note if I need to. I can also archive, and the beauty of archiving is, say I did everything on this to-do list, I could delete the note. That's under my More menu here, the first one, delete note. But maybe I don't want to delete it. I don't need it on my Google Keep page. So I want to keep a record of it, but I don't want to delete it completely. You can hit archive, and then you're able to archive it, so it won't appear on the main screen, but it's still accessible in your archive menu on the left-hand side. I can, under that More menu, I can delete note. I can add labels, so kind of like how a hashtag works. You can add a label to your note that maybe that's something like personal, articles, different things like that. You can add a Google drawing to this. You can make a copy of it. You can hide the checkboxes now that I've added them in. And also a useful feature is copy to Google Docs. So maybe I was doing some research and I wanted to compile that list into a Google Doc to share with somebody and maybe write out ideas more definitively. I can definitely see myself commuting on the train and doing a Google Keep note for an outline for something I'm working on, I can then copy that to a Google Doc and flesh that idea out more definitively. So you can see when I add it in, it adds fully to this list. It shifts it around. I might pin it so it stays there. It'll bring me up a pinned tab here. So a couple other quick things about Google Keep. One, I have mine in the grid view right now. I like it laid out that way. If you prefer a list view, you can change that up at the top right-hand corner and it presents it more like a list. But I'm going to flip back to grid view here. When you trash them, there is a trash can that you can go back here. Your labels appear on the side. One other thing, I'm going to pop up with settings. So I can do some basic Google Keep settings if I'd like to. I can add new items to the bottom or the top here. I can customize the default reminder. So if I know I want the reminder to be, if it's a morning reminder at 8 a.m. or 9 a.m., I can set that default. I'm absolutely able to override that when I make an individual Google Keep note, but you might want to customize the default to make it something more common for you. I can enable sharing or disable it, and I can display rich link previews there. So I'm just going to keep my settings saved as right now. And I have this ability to go back to any of these notes, pin them, and do all those pieces. The last piece of Google Keep that I'd like to show you today is actually Google Keep has an extension for the Chrome browser. I have it up here in my extensions. So say I am on Common Sense Media, a resource that I use a ton for our AOP Tech newsletters, for digital citizenship curriculum, for app advice. And I found this article on 20 podcasts for kids, something to explore over the summer. Awesome for a road trip. I never really thought of that before. So I'm thinking, I might want to use that in a parent newsletter. So I'm on this, but maybe I don't want to copy and paste the link. I'm going to be able to just use the Google Keep button in the top in my extensions. It'll bring me up 20 podcasts for kids. I'm going to take note, possible topic for AOP Tech parents. And you can see it's saving in the bottom of that note there. I can add a label right from this extension if I want to. I can remove the page link, but I really would like to keep it there. And now I can see that it is saved. So I'm going to pop back over to my Google Keep. And actually, I didn't even have to hit the refresh button that's in the top because it is right here. Common Sense Media, 20 podcasts for kids, possible topic for AOP parents. So it's a nice way to organize yourself, and it's the tool that I'm going to give my best effort to trying for this new school year. Each year I try to use something new and different, and I think that this year, if I commit myself to trying Google Keep, it will really, really help me out, and hopefully it can for you too. As always, subscribe to AOP Tech for all your latest ed tech videos and all things Google. And follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram, all at AOP Tech. And feel free to visit our resource website, aoptech.weebly.com.